Hello and welcome, Andy Irvine coming to you from the Warwick manufacturing facility in Markneukirchen, Germany. I'm here today to tell you about the outstanding new line of Warwick bass amps, speaker cabs, and combos, designed and created by iconic bassist Jonas Hellborg. This state-of-the-art amp and combo line embodies all the features that demanding bassists require and fully deserve. From large, powerful rigs for rocking concert stages to small and medium-sized combos for rehearsals and personal practicing. All bases can be covered with the products in the award-winning Hellborg Series, WA, WCA, and BC lines. Let's take a closer look at the BC20 designed by iconic bassist Jonas Hellborg. This amplifier was designed from the ground up with all the components being complementary of one another. It's a hi-fi system in a Class A circuit, which enables the sound to be very transparent. So the actual sound of the instrument and the sound of your hands really comes through in this amplifier. The preamp of the amplifier has two inputs, an active input and a passive input. And both inputs can be used simultaneously, meaning you can plug two instruments at the same time. Now, the Class A circuit has a very high fidelity sound, and you're able to really get a clear representation of your playing. It doesn't color the sound. Some amplifiers have specific parameters that when you plug into it, it no longer sounds like yourself or your instrument, it starts to sound like the amplifier. This is the complete opposite of that. It's a very transparent sounding amplifier, so that your own sound of your instrument and your own playing really comes through. The EQ section of the BC20 is highly intuitive, and it's a very excellent sounding EQ, meaning it's very musical. It has three bands, bass, middle, and treble. The mid control is a broad band mid-range curve that enables you to really bring out the voice of the instrument. The mid-range is where the primary voice of the instrument resides. So by having a broad, wide curve in the mid-range, you're able to really utilize the full voice of the instrument. Here's a demonstration of the tone of the amplifier with a more of a vintage tone, and I'll cut the treble slightly and boost the bass slightly and go for a warm vintage type of tone. And now I'll cut the bass just a little bit, and I'll boost the treble just a little bit, and go for more of a modern, aggressive slap type of sound. And now I'll demonstrate with a boosted mid-range setting. Notice that it really brings out the nuance of the right hand and the harmonics of the instrument. Next, I'd like to tell you about the DDL, or the dynamic distortion limiter. This is a key element in the signal path of this amplifier and highly sophisticated part of the chain, an important part of the chain, because what it does is it senses the slightest minuscule amount of distortion and eradicates it prior to it getting to the output section. Therefore, it enables you to use the full range of the volume of the amplifier with no distortion and no clipping whatsoever. I'll demonstrate by putting the amplifier all the way up to 12. So you're capable of using this amplifier all the way on 12, and in fact you can run it on 12 all day long, and the amplifier will never feel stress or fatigue or sound in any way like it's being driven too hard. It's designed to handle it. Now I've switched to my 5-string bass, and I'm going to talk about the drivers, the speaker drivers in this amplifier, the WXC and the WTR. There's a common misconception that the bass guitar doesn't have or require a lot of high end, when in fact it certainly does. A lot of the personal style and the nuance that comes out in our individual playing through the high end of the instrument. Yes, we do need a strong low fundamental, that's the primary function of the instrument, but it's also very important to have a nice high end sizzle on top so that you can cut through and that you can have a clean sound. Well, this amplifier, the BC20, is capable of giving you that through the WTR 2-inch bullet driver. This is a high-end frequency driver that's built into this amplifier that commonly is never found in an amplifier of this class. What it does is, where the frequency spectrum ends of the 8-inch bass driver, the WTR bullet driver takes over through a passive crossover and enables you to have a full sound spectrum. I'm going to boost up the treble now so you can really hear the bullet driver doing its thing. So in conclusion, the BC20 is a dynamite amplifier. It's a small package, but it has a lot of great features. The hi-fi Class A circuitry, dual inputs that enables you to play 2 instruments simultaneously, has the aux in, which enables you to plug in CD player, MP3 player, drum machine, has a dedicated stereo headphone amplifier, which enables you to play through headphones. It has the tuned bass reflex housing, speaker housing, with the extra deep design and shape for eliminating standing waveforms. This amplifier can be used for many purposes. It can be used for a student-teacher situation. It can be used for personal practice. It can be used for a beginner. You can play it on 12 all day long and you'll never harm it. It's bulletproof. It's very solid, punchy, small amplifier. For myself, I would use this amplifier. I would take it on the road with me and use it backstage for warming up, or perhaps working through rehearsal, backstage rehearsal with another musician, because I can play 2 instruments through it simultaneously. It's a dynamite amp, and I encourage you to check it out.